We're here with Bruce Schneier, who is the Chief Security Technology Officer at BT and one of the leading security thinkers. We're here at the RSA Conference. Bruce, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, you just offered an interesting presentation looking at the dishonest minority. It's a book you're working on right now. So I guess the general concept, if I understand it, is that humans generally trust each other, but there's some concern that the dishonest minority could take over?
Well, it's more basic than that. I mean, all systems have parasites. And if you look at systems of cooperation, there will always be a subset of non-cooperators that will thrive. And how well they thrive will depend on what the benefit is of not cooperating, what the detriment is of meeting another non-cooperator. You can imagine animals either sharing or stealing food from each other. So all systems have a stable point with some dishonest minority, some subset of parasites. And that in human society has changed over the centuries, over the millennia. And we as a species have developed a wide variety of security systems. Some of them are in our head, they're ethical and moral systems. Some of them are just informal social systems of approval and disapproval and shunning and accepting. Some of them are more formal rule systems, whether they're informal rules or formal laws, and then of course deputization of enforcement, and then technical security measures, all designed to protect us from us.
And in this book, you're looking at societal security, which is distinct from, say, individual security. Can you explain that distinction?
Right, and it's one I'm still fuzzy on. But the idea is that normal security is me versus you. You know, my army versus your army, my firewall versus your packets. Societal security is us versus the subset of us that will attack us. So it's us as a company trying to make sure that none of our employees can cheat the company. It's us as a society making sure none of us can steal. So it's different in that we are the enemy we're defending against, right? We are all better off if we live in a society without theft. We know there's a dishonest minority. We know there'll be parasites. How do we keep the number of thieves in our society down to some level that we'll accept, right? It's not going to be zero, we know that, but it has to be small enough that society will survive.
Sure. So, and there's some concern that as IT proliferates, that the dishonest minority could grow, and then that could be a concerning number?
Well, it's more complicated than that. A dishonest minority can grow in a lot of cases, because dishonest minority might be people who want to, I don't know, smoke pot or share music, or want free elections in Egypt. And you know, they might have perfectly valid, legitimate complaints. They don't want to be slaves. They don't want to have substandard incomes. What technology does, IT especially, is change the security we've been using. So some of the balances we've struck don't work the same when information flows at a rate that we've never seen before. Doesn't work when organizations can grow to a size that they couldn't before. So less that the dishonest minority can grow due to IT, that all of our security measures have to be rethought in this new world.
Yeah, so as that segue, I mean, there's a lot of security professionals here in the crowd. You're working on this book. What do you think you might get out of it that could benefit them or help them in their jobs?
You know, what I do primarily is help people think differently, to think about security in new ways. And I've always been a generalist. I mean, moving from cryptography to computer security to network security to general security to economics and psychology. And now I'm really looking at the why of security. Why does security exist? And I think if we're going to build good security, we need to understand what's going on. And this is not something you can take to your day job and implement a new firewall tomorrow, but it'll be a new way of looking at the security problems you have that will hopefully illuminate new solutions.
And does it come down to technology?
It comes down to all sorts of things. It comes down to people, I guess, in the end. Everything comes down to people. Technology supports people. Security is fundamentally about people. And people are the constant, and people are the attacker, and people are the defender. People are what matters. Everything else is secondary. Technology is something we can change a lot, so we put a lot of reliance on it because it's a knob we can control, but it's not even the big knob.
And you mentioned at the end of your presentation you're encouraging audience members and frankly, any peers to contribute to this, because they could probably offer you some information, some maybe ideas that you hadn't thought about yet.
Well, this is a big thing, and these are questions that have been discussed in different forms in a variety of social sciences, from psychology to anthropology and economics and philosophy, political science, law, game theory, evolutionary biology, and others. And there's a lot of things I don't know, and I don't know to read. And I did a blog post on this yesterday. Just go to Schneier.com. On the title is Societal Security. You can easily find it. And I'd very much like people to suggest things I might not have thought of and things for me to read.
Any idea when the publication could come out?
Oh, no idea. I'd like it to come out by the end of the year, but I'm sure that's optimistic.
Well, I'm sure it'll be a great lead, like a lot of the stuff you write. So, Bruce Schneier, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.